What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Wave Files. Of course, my name is DJ Reg West. On this episode of Wave Files, I have a good friend of mine. Man, I haven't seen this brother it's been a few years since I've seen him, but if you know me personally, if I see you in 10 minutes or if I seen you in 5 years, it's all the same love. We've done some amazing things out in Dubai together because he's brought me out there to do some cool things with some artists and things like that. But I want you to meet him right now, all right? We're going to have some great conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my guy, DJ Bliss. Bliss, what's up, bro?
Thank you, my man. Great to be here. Great to connect. And you're absolutely right, man. If anyone knows Reg, you know it doesn't make a difference if you see him in 10 minutes or 10 years. Absolutely true, man. 100% vouch for that.
How are you, man? How are you during these COVID times, man? Because I know just from a DJ standpoint, we've had to figure out what are we doing right now, man.
Yeah, facts. I mean, it's been a bit crazy over here in Dubai, especially. I know in the States, things haven't really opened up with the exception of Miami or Vegas.
Which is very crazy right now.
Yeah. Things did kind of open up again. First, they started in lounges. And when that started, it was you're not allowed to dance and everyone had to be seated. You couldn't really turn up. And I was like, I don't know, I'm going to stay away from that. And then things started opening up a little bit more, clubs open, but still you couldn't dance, but you could stand up. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll get back into it. This was around November, December time last year. So, we got a little taste of it. But when that started, I just knew this was not going to end well. And, literally
happened?
It was just too much was going on. People in the clubs were too close. You came in, you were wearing a mask when you came in, and you were sitting in a group of people, no mask on. Too many people were turning up and, not respecting the rules. So I'm like, this is not good. And then a lot of people were flying in. I'm sure you heard Dubai was a destination that that you were allowed to come over here. And Dubai was one of the only places that you can come without having to quarantine. So
I didn't know that. Ooh.
Yeah, there's a few places. I mean, we were thinking about traveling recently. So Zanzibar in Africa is one place, the Maldives Islands another. But back then, Dubai was another place. And you still could today fly to Dubai without having to quarantine. It's just that because the entertainment is not open, not as
right.
Yeah, some people think that, if you're thinking about coming to stay at a hotel and stay at a beach and just relax, that's still, the mall's still open. All that stuff, but a lot of people were coming out here to party, and I just knew that it wasn't going to end well. So, needless to say, come January or February, I can't remember when it was. I think it was end of January. They're like, all right, everything's off again, and everything's been closed since.
Well, so I actually remember seeing you post about that, and I was like, yeah, they're gonna have to be shut down for a while because it's like. There's cities like you said, you mentioned Miami, and it's also Atlanta down in Georgia, and there's one more city, Houston. Vegas is still shut down though. Vegas is still closed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Vegas is still shut down. They haven't opened Vegas back up for the clubs
Never?
yet.
Okay.
No, not yet. But I was curious because I speak to my friends in the States and. They don't always have an understanding of this is a global problem. You know what I mean? I know for a fact you actually went through. You had COVID recently, personally, right?
Literally, a couple of weeks ago. I just came out of it, and man, if you know me and how I was moving in this 1 year, super careful. I literally walk around with sanitizer everywhere, and I'm wearing a mask, and we clean everything that comes into this house. If my son goes out and he touches anything, we sanitize his hand, we're so careful.
yeah
So careful. And the way it happened was just I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. So but it happened. Luckily I got a mild case of it. I had to quarantine for 10 days. Being away from my kids was probably the hardest part. And then as soon as the 10 days were over, kind of went back to normal life. But even so, people tell me that you can still catch another strain
of it. Yeah
I'm like, I'm not trying to catch another strain of this virus again. And I got it on the day I was supposed to get. I got it on the day I was supposed to get vaccinated.
That's crazy.
Yeah, literally Sunday morning I was supposed to do it, and then Sunday morning I woke up. I'm like, I'm not feeling well. My wife was already not feeling well. She's the first one who got it, and then done.
But you have all your senses back, your taste and all that stuff is
No,
back
not
now.
completely. No, no. My smell
Word.
and my taste is not back. It's been like 20 days or 22 days since I got it, and
Hmm.
my smell and my taste is not fully back. I would say it's about like 20-30% back, because my smell, I used to be so sensitive, like I can smell anything. Like I was like,
Yeah.
what is that? And then taste wise, I definitely know it's not back, because I don't taste everything. Certain things like chocolate, I know if something's sweet, I know if it's salty, but I can't really have all that taste.
Oh man.
Did you lose?
So
You got it as well, right?
yeah, I had like a mild, but like I didn't like all my taste, all that was fine. Like I didn't have a situation like that. No, that wasn't one of
Yeah.
my symptoms.
Yeah, it happens. Like we have a nanny who helps us with the kids, and she got it as well right after we got it, and she didn't lose
Yeah.
her smell or taste either. So the thing about this virus is, what when you have time in quarantine, all you do is read
Just
up on it.
research. Yeah.
Basically, this virus, the reason why it's so crazy, because it mutates. So it's not like a disease or a cold where you get it and what you get is the same as this person or that person. It's literally different from every person. And they say if you're older, it can really mess you up. One of my dad's cousins, she's like really old, she's got asthma, and when she got it, we all got really worried. Nothing happened. She got it, got through it, like nothing happened to her. And then there's somebody who's like super young and healthy, and unfortunately, it hits them bad, and they could pass away, or they can deal with it badly. So it's super dangerous, man. And like it's no time to be relaxed about it. Like you really need to pay. You don't want to catch it. I didn't want to catch it. Like that's the last thing I want. We don't know what's going to happen by taking this vaccine or getting this virus. Like what's going to happen years from now. No one knows.
Nobody knows, man. It's definitely uncharted territory. It's very
sure,
very crazy.
yeah.
But like you said, it affects everybody differently. Like so everybody still has to be cautious, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I first met my guy DJ Bliss when
Let's see if you remember the year.
Damn, no, it might have been 2000. You probably know, and correct me.
Yeah.
2008.
Earlier.
2007.
6.
Oh,
it could have been 7. It could have been 7. I started those parties 2006.
Okay, hold on. So I met Bliss. I was on tour with shout to Nicole and now Leonida Sky. Nicole was going on her first tour, her first international tour as a DJ, and wanted somebody who was proficient with the equipment, who's traveled overseas with her, just in case something happened. Correct. And we traveled Germany, we did Italy, and we did all these other countries, and we're about to get on the plane to go home. And literally the day before, our tour manager says, "Yo, we got a booking in Dubai. We're gonna lay over in Dubai, do a gig, and get back on the plane and go home." And we're like, "Dubai? All right, cool." and then we meet DJ Bliss, who was the promoter on the event. I don't think you were DJing that night, were you?
I wasn't DJing that night, so that was the club I started DJing at. And then around that time, I was trying to meet a lot of people in the industry, because it wasn't really a lot of people flying out to Dubai in those days. Like I remember, especially like in urban parties and hip hop parties, and mainly I was trying to meet the mixtape DJs at that time. Like Clint Sparks and Who Kid, and those were really like some of the first few that we got. And shout out to Sia. Sia was somebody I had met like a couple of years before that, and he hit me up and he's like, "Yo, we have like Nina Sky available," and like you said, they were DJing, so it was like when artists do a performance show, is usually a lot more expensive than like a DJ show, and they were doing a DJ show. We worked out a deal, and like, but dude, those days, that's crazy. I didn't know the story about the fact that you guys were done with the tour and were heading back home, because those days to like be, it wasn't like go on skyscanner.com, check out flights. No, you had to have like an agent look for flights for you.
An agent
reroute it and fax you like
yes.
some weird stuff like Yeah.
It's crazy that you didn't know our side of the story. Yeah, man. Like we literally like we're about to finish the tour, and Sia was like, "Nah, we got it. We're gonna do a layover in Dubai, and then from Dubai head home." I'm like, let's go do it. And it's crazy because we were so tired, but I remember, I don't think it was specifically you, but someone who was with you was like, listen, we need to be at the venue in 15 minutes, if not everything is shutting down. And we're like, yo dog, we literally just landed, hold on. Because it was a crazy turnaround. It was a crazy turnaround.
You guys came straight to the club. I remember it was something crazy like that. But in Dubai back then, we had a rule where clubs shut on 3 o'clock on the dot. So if you didn't make it, like it wasn't like you could play a little later or whatever. So that was probably the reason. But that's crazy. It was a crazy party though.
No, it was a good time, dog. I vividly remember that night. I had a great time that night. Like Nicole rocked. Me and you actually built a relationship that night, and then ironically, I shouldn't say ironically, like the next time I came to Dubai, I was there with Fab, and you looked at me like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, true. That's true story. Yeah. That's crazy. That is true. You guys were staying at the 7-star hotel, the Burj Al Arab.
That was a beautiful space, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. That was my first time in that hotel, and I don't know if I ever told you. That was the first time I saw the inside of that hotel.
I mentioned those stories to give people a view of how involved you were with the infancy of the entertainment side of parties in Dubai. Can you tell the people a little bit about why you started throwing parties, why you started DJing, and how you got to where you are here? Just the fast version.
Yeah. I mean, in a nutshell, I kind of touched on it earlier, but it was basically I was telling you I was trying to meet DJs and artists and to connect with them, and I thought the best way to do it is sort of book them out, and really it was like the mixtape DJs that I was looking for. So I was on radio already, and I thought they come out, we do an interview and get shout outs, and I was filming a lot of stuff. I'm doing like vlogs now, but I have footage of all that. If I go dig deep into my hard drive, I'll find footage from that party that we did in 2006 as well.
Please, I'd love to see it, bro. I'm
sure I have it somewhere, but I was literally just trying to meet and connect with people. And I thought the easiest way, back then, especially when you told people Dubai, like, whoa, man, it was impressive. I mean, today it's a little hard to impress with people when you say Dubai because people have been here so much and you've already seen it, the internet and all that. So, and like I said, first, like my first booking was like a DJ from the UK. My first 2 bookings were a DJ from the UK. I had Clinton Sparks. I had, Nina Sky was one of them. I had DJ Cool through Sia as well.
DJ Cool,
he was rocking those parties, yeah. And then, like I said, Clinton Sparks, Who Kid came. Another couple of DJs from the UK, Semtex. So it was literally just to meet, DJs. And then one of the first artists that I ever booked, again, was just coming to Dubai. It was a connect that I got was Most Def. And that was like crazy. I didn't really know much about Most Def back then, and I wasn't sure how the party was going to turn out. We're talking like, for compared to what I was doing with DJ booking, it's like big money now. And then I did that show, and the show was crazy. The amount of people that showed up and they're singing along to his songs. I was like, there's something over here, And then kind of like that's where I got my taste of sort of promoting, and then. And the business side of it as well. I was doing a deal with the clubs, you're making the money off of tickets and whatnot. So I got a little taste of it and I'm like, okay, this is great. First of all, I'm able to take a cut from the club by throwing the party. I'm getting to meet these artists and they're coming down. And then also seeing how a lot of these DJs play, because I was self-taught as a DJ. So when these DJs were coming out and they were doing things, I was like getting ideas. That's why I love coming to the States and going to see DJs playing clubs, especially in New York. I love New York clubs because DJs in New York just got something about the way they play. Someone told me this thing once when I first came to New York the first time, like, listen, as soon as you go there, you get a radio and just switch on the radio and just listen. All right, just listen. I was like,
yes. When
I got there, that's exactly what I did. And when you tuned in, especially back in the days when they used to have like mix shows every night on Hot 97 or some of the other stations that you tune into, it was like, oh my God, the energy is crazy. So it was a combination of all these things, and then sort of like helped me develop my style and what I was doing. I was already doing radio at that time, but not in the style of sort of these New York DJs. I mean, if you listen to sort of what my show sounded like then, and then eventually what it developed to, like, it influenced me for sure. And then, I kept going with the radio, and then I started doing some TV stuff as well. So I started meeting more like, my TV show was like an entertainment show. So we're interviewing like a lot of celebrities who are coming to Dubai too.
Name drop some of them, please, because they are very, very big name people.
Man, at one point I was literally doing, because I was the only person who was doing a show like that. So they called me the Ryan Seacrest of Dubai at that time.
I remember that TMZ joint. I remember you on TMZ. We're gonna get to that too.
So everyone, man, we were doing like the Kardashians, Usher, J-Lo, like anyone who came down, like we were doing. So through the parties that I was doing, or through my radio show, which had connects with people, or this TV show, now I'm like meeting everyone. Some people, you build good relationships with. Some people it's just, high and by, you just pass through. And some people you just have a great experience with, but you don't build that relationship. But that's life. That's how, like, when you meet friends, and what happens with them as well. Right. But yeah, man, thankfully blessed. I mean, when people ask me to like drop names, like I blank out. Like I'm like, oh, man, there's so many. But as soon as I get asked that question, and especially when they ask me like, so what was like one of the memorable ones? And for me, man, really like a kid born and raised in Dubai, to have that opportunity to meet these people, sort of being the connect, like it's such an experience for me, that they're all special, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ones that made me wait, and all of them. Kanye West, that's a good one. Kanye West made me wait 4 hours, and this is before Kanye knew he was Kanye, by the way. 4 hours.
Kanye always knew he was Kanye. Come on now.
He made me wait like 4 hours because he wanted to shave, and it was a radio interview. We weren't even filming. Like, I was like, crazy. And then the whole time he was sipping his tea. He had his like teacup in his hand, and he had a spoon, and he was drinking his tea with a spoon. Like, you could just hear him like in the entire interview. And then at the end of the interview, I can't remember what I asked him. I think I asked him for the name. This is like graduation era, by the way. So it's like back in the day. I was like, what's the name of the new album or something like that? And he said, I think it was called Thank You, and You're Welcome, or the name of the song or something. And he's like, and that's what I have to say about this interview. Thank you and you're welcome. I was like, I guess that's the end of the interview. Oh man.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I know he's a little like, does a lot of crazy things, but for me, I always put him into my top 5 rappers of all time. Like the things he did, the songs he created, the way he rapped, maybe he's not doing it anymore, but there's something about the music that he made was like really, really dope. And his style, his special, people who are so talented, they have demons. That's the bottom line. You can't be so
creative without dealing with what you're dealing with. No, you're right. Like artistic people have, sides to them. It's just at least from my experience. I can't say anyone else, but I agree with you though. You're right about that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were self-taught with the DJing. Can you give me an idea of like how was hip hop music exposed to you in Dubai? Because we take it for granted here in New York. It's outside. It's hip hop music right outside. How were you exposed to hip hop music?
So when I started DJing, I was in a band first. So that's how I got into music. So I used to be in like an alternative rock band. My brother used to play the guitar. He taught us. I was playing like stuff like Nirvana and Alice in Chains. Like alternative rock music was my thing. Yeah. And then towards the end of my high school, I was doing my school radio, and we were just playing we had to find like super clean songs. Like they had to be like so clean, like I'm not talking about radio clean. It had to be like so clean. There had to be nothing
suggestive. Love. I get it.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. So I was doing that. Then I learned sort of how to, play within those lines, and then had an interest in radio. And as far as the DJing concerned, so I wasn't the part of the cool kids in school. I wasn't getting invited to the party. So I'm like, what's the best way to get invited to the parties? To be a DJ.
Do your own party.
Right. So I was doing a little bit of DJing, but we never had really like records back in the days over here. So, it was really CDs mostly. So when I started, I had literally like 2 Discmans. I used to play a song here and a song here, just like playing songs. Yeah. And I actually got a couple of gigs just doing that. And the first gig that I ever got, where we had like these, I don't know if you remember the Denon Dual CD players.
I remember those.
Control the pitch and all that.
Yep.
It was at a water park, and I got fired from my job because I was learning how to mix on that. So that's where the DJing kind of came in. And when I got my first gig, this is like what era was it? Like Shackles was out, Praise You by Mary Mary.
Yeah. Oh wow.
De La
2003, 2004, I think. Was this?
Yeah. De La Soul, All Good. That
ain't all good. Yeah. That's like 2003.
And those songs, remember we used to always mix those songs together because it was the same era. So it was that era, and the sort of the songs that you were able to mix were those kind of songs. And there was like Pink had a couple of R&B songs, Christina Aguilera, and so everything was kind of influenced by urban music in that time that I was DJing. And then moving forward, the next couple of gigs that I got, the era was heavily influenced by urban music. The music that I was playing first was a genre called UK garage from the UK.
I know the garage music. I love garage music. Yep.
Great music. Yeah. So that's what I was playing. And then I traveled to Cyprus, Ayanapa. That's where it was the base of sort of those parties at that time. Came back with a whole bunch of like mixed CDs, and I bought my first vinyl that I ever bought was a UK garage CD. And then I started traveling to the UK, to London. And when I was traveling there, and again, I had met those. Remember, I told you I met those DJs, and they were working for record labels. And when one of them took me to all the record labels, there was like cabinets with records. He's like, "All right, take whatever you want." So I was like, just kind of like going through it, like, do I need this? He's like, "Dude, what are you doing? Get out of the way." He's like, he's just picking them up, throwing them on the floor, like, just take here. You're gonna need 2 of these because you're gonna like
you're gonna go back and forth with those.
Yeah, back and forth. You need 2 of these. So I was like, oh my god, I got all this vinyl now, and I had to take it back, and I paid like an arm and a leg to travel with vinyl. My god.
Oh man, I don't miss those days
at all. So suddenly my collection was a lot of urban music, and that's kind of like how I got into it. And that's really so sort of the era where it started. And I always tell people, honest, like, I don't know the history of hip hop that much to say, like I vouch for it, but it's definitely the genre of music, R&B, hip hop, and reggae as well was kind of big in right after that, around 2005, 2006. Reggae music, I think, was that the era of sort of Sean Paul and
Sean Paul was really over and out of here in the early 2000s.
Yeah, right.
That Dirty Paul album, I think that was 2003. I think.
Yeah.
I think that was, yeah.
I wanna Google it just to see, but yeah, I think you're probably right. It's probably around that time, because when I was going to the UK, and that was 2002, 2003, some of the mix CDs that I was buying had a lot of this like urban stuff on it. They used to sell Hot 97 pirated mix CDs in the UK at like the markets and stuff like that.
I would imagine so.
yeah, crazy. Hot 97 was such a hot, like, it was such a like big brand, like global.
It was
brand.
the brand, right? It like if it was a Hot 97 sticker on it, and from the 90s up to like maybe 2006. It was golden. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. So that's really so urban music was around me, and the stuff that I was playing mostly, and that's how it really started. And when we started doing the bookings, like I said, it was Nina Sky, Who Kid, it was Clinton Sparks, it was DJ Cool, it was Mos Def, it was around me, and just was part of my identity all of a sudden.
I got it. So you already said in the conversation that when you booked Mos Def, you realized there was a following out here for hip hop. Actually, the last time I saw you in Dubai, I was out there with Mac Wilds, and and I DJ'd for maybe like an hour. And then I was very hesitant about playing new material, because if it was new and popping in New York, I'm like, they don't know this record out here yet. Matter of fact, I'll tell the story. So I was, and you might remember vaguely, I was playing like safe records, like, okay, they're gonna know these records, and they're singing to them. Might have been like T-Pain, Booty Go Up, Down, like you know, and the Chris Brown, like the whole Mustard, all the Mustard records. I was playing all the Mustard records, and then like I got to Bobby Shmurda record, which was the hottest record in New York. I'm like, they're not gonna know this out here. I'll skip it, and I finished my set. I did a great job, but whoever got on after me, that was the first record they played, and the whole place went hat flipping and all that. I'm like, okay. So how fast does music get to you from the States? Like, because I feel like at the time that was the hottest record out, and it was literally just out that month. So I know that there's people that move to Dubai for work. Do they influence how you play, or is it kind of like what people like in Dubai is what they like?
It's a tricky one. I mean, that, you know, some things will cross over really quick. Some things will take a little time, and then it will come here and it will stay for much longer. Like Empire State of Mind, you know, like it was years where you can still play it, and it was still like, you know, they'll sing it like it just came out. But some things just, you know, some things work and some things don't. I mean, I'm surprised that Bobby Shmurda song worked, because here they love songs that you can really dance to. That's why Afrobeat is so big. Latin music, reggaeton was so big. All the Mustard records, because you can dance. Like, you know, they love records that you can dance to over here. They struggle a little bit with things like that. You know, what's that record? Mobamba, you know?
Yeah.
They like it because it's got a thing, you know? You put the volume down, they sing along to it. The Bobby Shmurda record, same thing. And then there's like, what's that Whoopty song that's out right now? Is that
CJ? CJ made it out there? Okay, good.
Yeah, is he American or British?
No, he's American. So the artist name is, it's funny you mentioned that, because his DJ is a friend of mine. So the artist name is CJ. He's from Staten Island, which is where Mac Wild is from. Staten Island. And the DJ, shout out to DJ Stax. Stax also works at Hot 97. So we just completed the circle.
Yeah. That record is huge right now, and the reason why I'm saying that is because it's huge on TikTok, and I see people using it on their reels. And then a local group here took the beat and are rapping in Arabic, and they shot a whole video for it. So I'm like, I mean, we haven't been in the club when that record came out, but I'm assuming that would be a pretty big record. But usually they don't like those slow BPM style songs for long periods of time. And then I don't know, there's also, you know, like mumble rap stuff like Migos and Future, and some of it works and some of it doesn't. Even with the Drake stuff, I mean, even if they know the artist. So it's a little, I don't know, it's a little tricky. But I mean, yeah, Bobby Shmurda's record definitely did well for sure.
Yeah, because like you said, like I had a decent feeling of the crowd. I'm like, all right, they like to dance, all right. And so when whoever came on after me threw on that record, I was shocked. But it goes back to the point. So people, we had a great conversation. I wish I was sitting record before we started about how technology has moved the needle, right? Because the same time it's popping in New York, it's popping in Dubai, because it's popping on TikTok, because it's popping on Twitch, because it's popping on Instagram. So that's the reason. I think that's one of the main reasons why that CJ record is moving in Dubai right now, because hey, it's a trend, right? People follow trends. So that's just what it is. And like you said, if the clubs are open, I think that might be the hottest record in the club right now.
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. And then also, I mean, look, the clubs, I mean, I don't want to blow my own horn, but there was a point where urban music or hip hop music wasn't in the high end clubs, right? It was, you know, they didn't want it in, you know, if it was like the high end clubs would run more like house music or very commercial pop R&B songs. And one of the nights we started back in 2010 was a night called 411 at Armani. And Armani,
which was a movie. But go ahead.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, when I started DJing in Armani, they were paying me peanuts. And the manager there is like, listen, you want to be DJing at the world's tallest building, Armani, but I got to tell you one thing. R&B hip hop music never going to come out of these speakers. Mr. Giorgio Armani said it himself. He does not want that kind of music. All right. 2 months passed by. Listen, let's play like maybe one, like a Beyonce song, a little Shakira song, a little, like just a little commercial thing just for the girls, a little Kevin Little. I was like, okay, played it. A couple of weeks later, let's go 50-50 maybe, pay 50% of like this R&B commercial song. Next thing you know, we're playing 70-80%. And then the next thing you know, he's like, listen, let's do an urban night. What night do you want? I'm like, well, let's do a Saturday night. And Saturday over here is like a Sunday over there. Like our weekend is Friday, Saturday. Like, are you sure?
Yeah, that's right.
Like people are going to go back to work the next day. Are you sure it's going to be a good night? I'm like, no, I definitely think this is going to work. And we did it. And that 401 at Armani became like the biggest urban night. Now you have like a night playing all the hip hop and urban stuff, and we were like bringing out DJs. Like Drama came out. I celebrated my birthday over there, and Drama came out, and Drama's like super goes in hard with all the urban stuff over there.
Facts.
I can't remember if we booked any artist over there. I don't think so. A year later, got super greedy, and then we had to like move the party to another place. Now we moved it to a club called People by Cristal, the one that you came to with Mac Wilds and Fab. And this was the #1 high-end club, right? This is like, all, the big bottles, like sparklers come out, and like, it was like the place. So they said, hey, we want to bring you up on a Tuesday and do this like ladies night and, whatnot. As soon as they heard I had a problem with these guys, they're like, yo, why don't we move this Saturday night over here? So we moved the Saturday night over there. Became the biggest night in the city. We're talking about 1,000 people every week, queues outside. It was crazy. And then, other clubs started noticing. So, there's a lot of competition that started happening. But that was the start of urban music in high-end clubs. All right. That size and that level of clubs. Then the Whites came, and then the Movida, the VIP rooms came. They all came for that Saturday night, and then eventually, a lot of the clubs adapted that style of music. But that was really like 2010, 11, 12. Like, that's where it really changed. And now today, like most of the clubs, I mean, also urban music is the popular music or pop music right now too. So that's also something you have to attribute it to. But that's really where it changed. Because before that, man, we were in like all the B-list and C-list clubs. There's no way an A-list club was letting us come in and play urban music. No way. And urban music all night? No way. And those nights that we were doing were the biggest nights as far as sales were concerned, and people were coming out. I couldn't believe it, man. People coming on a Saturday night, going to work the next day. Because, Dubai is not like New York. It's not a lot of like students or people who are not working the next day. No, everyone's here working. Like, that's what you're here for, right?
You're here to work, right?
80% of the population is expats. Only 20% are locals, and everyone's working. So I think that really just kind of changed the game as far as urban music, and that's sort of where it went. And today, like pretty much all the clubs are playing mostly urban music. It's either urban music like hip hop, R&B, and like I said, right before things got shut down, Afrobeat and reggaeton was huge. And I was playing like mostly Afrobeat reggaeton all night. Like I'm talking about 70% of the music. I don't even understand what the hell they're saying in the songs, and that's what we were playing mainly. You kind of understand with the Afrobeat, but it's crazy, yeah.
But that's what's popular right now. So that's the way the club has to go, right? You got to follow the trends to a degree. You got to follow the trends.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, going back to sort of what works here music wise, it's just, I don't know, it's just hit and miss. Like sometimes the hottest song will come out of New York, and you know right away. And I tried to drop it, and then it's like it wasn't really getting a response. My job has always been to make sure everyone in the club is having a good time. And sometimes, I got accused of just repeating music too much or playing a lot of old stuff, but I don't think about it like that. I'm not playing old school. I'm not trying to repeat songs. I don't go through playlists and play in order. No, I'm really I don't prepare either. I want to make sure that whoever comes out to the club, whether it's 100 people, 500, or 1,000 people, are all having a good time. So whatever I have to play for them, I'll play. And if it's a brand new song that's hot in New York that only 5-10 people are, rocking with on the side over there, I'm not going to play it, or I'm not going to play it for long. I know there's an educational part, but also I'm not going to mess up, 900 people's night just to make 100 people happy. And I don't know if you go by that rule, but that's just always been me. Like, I just want everyone in the park. When a DJ comes from outside, if you're coming or if somebody else is coming, you could play that stuff and they will respect it more. When Drake came to the club I was DJing at Boa, his own DJs have to play before he comes on. Do you know that?
Oh yeah. That was that's my guy Future. Shout out to Future. Yeah.
Future is my boy. Future doesn't DJ, doesn't do the DJing anymore. He might do the shows. I gotta tell you.
So this is more recent. Yeah. Future's not touching the tables.
He's touching the checks. He's touching the checks. That's what he said. And also, but the era of DJs is dead as well. Back in the days, you'd book Who Kid is right, 50 Cent's official DJ, Drama, T.I.'s official DJ, Green Lantern. This person's official DJ. Those, used to throw parties like that. That's not happening so much over here.
It's less frequent.
In Dubai, I think we're spoiled because there's so many clubs, that I mentioned to you earlier that have opened that are all trying to kill each other by booking celebrities, and they're all bumping up their prices. Now you get there's an artist here at sometimes 2 in one night every weekend in Dubai.
Wow.
So that's changed. So they're spoiled, and you don't pay to get into the clubs. They started doing some kind of charge, but regularly most of the people are not getting are not paying for entry.
You are out here doing these amazing vlogs, which is an amazing to me. I think it's a great shift, because like you said also previously that you hosted this show where you guys we interviewed amazing people and whatnot. But the vlog game is that a replacement for what we're doing since COVID is started? Because I know you're doing vlogs prior to COVID, but you turned it up during COVID, and doing some very funny vlogs and some super informative ones too. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I started vlogging about 4 or 5 years ago. I was interested in building an audience on YouTube because YouTube's a great place to have a following. People really tune into what you're doing. So the plan was to build a following so I could do my own radio, my own podcast, my own TV show on YouTube. So, vlogging was so big. I'm like, this is supernatural to me. I've been I have videos of me doing vlog style videos from back in 2009, 8. I'm literally looking at the camera and I'm doing stuff. So when it started popping, Casey Neistat was big at that time. I saw him. I'm like, I can definitely do this. So I started doing it, and I worked hard on it for 2 or 3 years. But with vlogs, it either works or it doesn't. And there's algorithms involved, and I was trying to tick all the boxes, but there's just one thing which I couldn't get myself to do, which is clickbait, and that's what YouTube is really about. I would like to do clickbaiting in a good way, find a good, and clickbaiting doesn't always mean you have to trick people, but a lot of people were doing it in a trickery way, and it just wasn't part of me and my DNA. So I couldn't bring myself to do it. Yeah. So I did it for about 2 or 3 years, and then when my son was born, I took a little bit of a break, and then I was not posting as consistently. And then last year, I couldn't really vlog, but when everything stopped, I'm like, I need to get back on the vlogs.
Yeah.
So about 3-4 months ago, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get back on it. So I went back, checked out my YouTube video. What's doing really well? All the luxury stuff, the presidential suite at the Burj Al Arab, the private jet flight from Vegas to LA, a billionaire lifestyle of a billionaire in Dubai. Those were my top few videos. This car, Bugatti. I'm like, well, that's what people want to see, and let's just jump into that. So when I started tapping into all of that. 3,000 dirham, $1,000 ice cream that you can have over here, the luxury car showroom, flying car, duplex apartment for $8 million, all that stuff. So I'm starting to do that, and I'm starting to get a little bit of traction. One thing about YouTube, there's no shortcuts. You have to put in the work. You have to tick the boxes, and there's an algorithm in place, and you just have to fall into that algorithm, and then things will work for you. But if that works for me, I'll be super happy, because as much as I love DJing, I love creating content as well. It's part of me and what I do. Having done TV, radio, and I love traveling as well. I love food, so like all that stuff put into one place,
Yeah.
And then working on my music at the same time. I thought, like, if everything just falls into place, which I'm still working on, when it falls into place, let's put it out in the universe.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
You get a song, you get a little traction off of it. You're doing a couple of festivals, and then you're traveling, you're vlogging that. You're working on music, you're showing, the life in Dubai, you're going out to restaurants, all that stuff. Some people said, why don't you show the club and the bottles and this and the girls and all that? I'm like, that's not really, people on YouTube are super young. They're not interested in seeing all that stuff. And generally it never really did that well. So I'm just trying to, get back on it and work on it, and hopefully, like I said, build an audience over there, so I can just do me, DJ Bliss TV, DJ Bliss Radio, everything I used to do and love doing. I want to just do it over there. But the first thing you got to do is you got to build your tribe. Yeah, you have to have your following, the people who rock with you, your true fans, and then you can do whatever you want with them.
That's facts. You mentioned music. You dropped a couple of songs over the years. One with Clef.
Yeah.
And I like that song. That was a dope song.
Yeah, it was a good one.
And who else? It was somebody else big too, bro.
I got one that I did with Mims and another singer from Kuwait called Shining. I did one with a girl who's from the Dominican Republic, huge artist over there. Her name is Melly Mel. She's between New York and Dominican Republic. And then the last one that I did was with a guy from the UK called AO Beats, like super dope producer and singer songwriter. And I got a couple of songs, but I'm sure getting the paperwork signed for releasing the songs is the biggest problem. So I'm like sitting on a whole bunch of records, but like, I'll tell you offline with who the artists are, but you're just not able to release it until you get the song.
Okay.
That's the hard part.
It's tough, especially when an artist is signed to a label, because the label has their vision, and sometimes the artist looks for the label like, yo, hold him off because I'm doing this XYZ. So we're gonna I'll release that later and all this other stuff. But paperwork is just so hard putting out a project, man. I applaud all my DJ friends for even attempting to do it, dog, because it's a lot, man.
It's hard. And one thing I noticed that artists don't like to say no. You never get that. It's a good trick. It's a good trick, but it's a good trick. Like, you can have a conversation like on and off. Like, hey, yo, by the way, what about that record? It's blank. It's a good trick. But like you said, there could be many reasons. But sometimes I wish it was just kind of hey, no, I'm not. I can't do this. I don't want to do it. Let's move on from it. It's that.
Instead of wasting everybody's time, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I have spent my time on a plane before listening to DJ Bliss Radio. Like, you have a station. Dog. I was like, wait, what is this? Oh, can you talk about that collaboration? I think that was cool.
You talking about the one on Emirates?
Yes.
So we did a collaboration where we put a playlist on Emirates, and we were actually in the process of doing some more stuff right before COVID happened as well. So it was like a dream come true for me to be on there. And actually, when we did the collaboration, like, my face was on the screen. Somebody sent me a picture. Man, I need to find that picture. Somebody sent me a picture, and it's just like from the back of the plane, and all you can see is like my face. So yeah, super dope. Crazy, right?
So crazy.
Yeah, I need to actually look for that picture as soon as we get off there.
Yo, yeah. You wear so many hats, Bliss. I know you have a business as well out in Dubai, right? It's a coffee. It's a coffee stand. Is that a good?
It's like a coffee stand, but it's we do this thing called karak, which is like tea. It's tea with milk. It's a drink that was really big in India, but it's huge over here as well. So it's like the coffee culture, but based on tea. And we have like some all day breakfast and sandwiches. My sister, who's a chef, is also my partner on there. I have a barbershop also.
Shout out to the barbershop. Yep.
Yeah.
You've had that barbershop a very long time, sir.
Yeah, I had the barbershop. So that's another way, by the way, we've had a chance to meet some big celebrities too. I met Will Smith through my barbershop.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Tell that story.
So let me take you back and tell you the entire story. I had a thing called a vision board, and I, put stuff that you want on there, and it, eventually comes through. One of the pictures I put on there was Will Smith and his family to represent family in entertainment industry. And I made that vision board, and I put a few things. Few things had come true, by the way. And then Will Smith, the story was I was actually in LA for my TV show. We were doing the Grammys. That whole TMZ thing you spoke about earlier was when I was in LA for doing like red carpet. And I got an email saying, "Hey, we need a barber to come to the hotel. It's for an A-list client. Is he available?" Talked about the details. They're like, all right, cool. We agreed, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, all right, so the celebrity is Will Smith. I was like, oh, I can't believe my vision board came true, and I'm in LA and he's over there. My barber went there, cut his hair. We got, he took a picture with the barber. We posted it, and it became a huge thing for us. Like, oh, Will Smith cuts his hair at the barbershop. A week later, get another email. Hey, we need another service. And I was still in LA. I was like, oh my God, this is like crazy. Second time I miss it. Barber goes there, do the thing, done. And then like a month later, or maybe even 2 months later, I just came back from a second trip to LA because there's like a season where all the awards were going on. I think between January and March.
And March. Yep.
Yeah. So this was now like around March time, and I just landed. Wyclef was doing a show. I was DJing for that show. Will Smith was in the club. We had this crazy party. And then I was like, oh my God, like, am I going to meet him? Like the guy's standing right in front of me over there. He's been to my barber. Like, am I going to meet this guy or not? And then didn't get a chance to meet him that night. And Wyclef and him were like doing songs. He was beatboxing. Crazy night. And then a couple of days later, email comes through again. Need the service. I'm like, boom, this time I'm going. So I went this time, and I'm like, oh, dude, like, good to meet you. Blah, blah. Super cool guy. One of the nicest people you ever meet in your life. Mm. And I was like, he got his like hair done, colored his beard, and I'm like, dude, great to meet you. Like, anytime I get a picture, he's like, well, I got the color on my beard, so can't really do it right now, but next time for sure. I was like, it's not gonna be a next time. There's no way in hell there's gonna be a next time. One the conversation we had during this time, he was asking me like, is there studios in Dubai, like people making music? Is there artists over here? I'm like, I had a studio back then in my office. And then he's like, yeah, I'll hit you up. Maybe I'll come through the studio or whatnot. I'm like, that's not going to happen. The next day, his assistant calls me. He's like, yo, Mr. Smith would like to come through to the studio. I was like, what? Came through to the studio, listened to some beats, and he was just like, in his thoughts, like, rapping and like, doing a couple of things. And he's like, I'm vibing out. He's like, dope. Stayed for a couple of hours. We chilled. We took the picture. And then he's like, oh, cool, man. Listen, I'm going out to dinner tonight. You guys should come. It's me and my producer at that time, Q Prince. So when he left, me and Prince looked at each other. We're like, did that just happen? I'm like, did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air just show up at our office, come into the studio, listen to some of our beats, and then just like, did that really happen? Like, it was one of those moments. Like, the guy you watched on TV and, the Hollywood star suddenly became just a regular human being sitting in front of you, listening to music, having, casual conversation with you. And same thing. That night, his assistant called. He's like, hey, Mr. Smith would like to know if you were joining him for dinner tonight. I was like, what? It was crazy. Then we went. Crazy. Went out, man. We had dinner, and he had a couple of friends, and I was sitting right next to him, and we had a great conversation, and and that was that, man. Like we connected over that. I think I don't know. There was something like he liked about when we met. You just connect. Some people you just connect with, and some people you just don't. And with him, I definitely felt like that super down to earth connection, and super cool guy, and definitely like one of like the most inspirational people you'll ever meet. He's one of those people who inspire you without even like having to tell you anything or say it himself. Like you just go on, listen to his quotes or watch his social media and all that. And he's the king of social media too.
Facts.
What's crazy is when he came to my office, I was vlogging, but I was like, there is no way I'm gonna pull out a vlogging camera to my face and like tell Will Smith, hey, let's vlog. And I swear to God, like 5 or 6 months later, he pulled out a camera, he started vlogging. I was like, what? Oh my God. Crazy.
The life of DJ Bliss.
The life of DJ Bliss. Well, you were saying earlier about wearing so many hats. It's true, man. I always say it's the gift and the curse. The gift is I get to do a lot of things because I love doing everything. As soon as I get an idea, I want to do it. The curse is I really think like sometimes you focus on something and just like really keep at it. I think it would be a better thing to do. But I don't know, if I would go back and change things knowing that, I can go back and just focus on one thing. I don't know if I would do that or not, but definitely think that, when you have so many different hats that, you don't completely master and go all the way forward with all of them. But I don't know. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like,
I get you. I get you. It's the I don't know if you use the term there, but over here we say a term. It's called you're a jack of all trades, but you might not be a master of any. But being a jack of all trades keeps you. It keeps you moving, Bliss. Like, because in this pandemic season, I know just from our conversations, like the DJ income is lacking, but you got all these other things moving. Things aren't that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and also if I wasn't doing everything back then, I might have not been able to, build the business or the investment to invest into the business that I wanted to do, or to get my house and all that stuff. So. No, I mean, look, definitely jack of all trades. I think for sure the number one thing is DJing. That's where I've done most of my work. That's where I feel comfortable in my own skin. But I'm not afraid of trying things. I'm not afraid of failing. And I love going out and doing it. Even when I did music, the first couple of songs, like, oh, people are like, this is trash and whatever. I didn't care because that thing led to this and this led to that. And I feel like everything is, happens the way it's supposed to be or meant to be. So, no regrets in that sense.
No, and there shouldn't be, because you're trying stuff that, to be honest, other people are scared to try,
scared to try. Yeah.
And they might shun you because, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not doing it.
Yeah.
Are you trying?
There's a lot of quotes that talk about not sharing your ideas with other people, because that is the best way for you to get convinced not to do it. There's definitely a voice within, and your own intuition and that your gut feeling that should really guide you and let you do what you're supposed to do. And who cares if you fail? You don't owe anyone anything. Like, this is you and your life. Like, just do whatever you want to do. Try, fail, and you just keep, if you have the attitude, just keep moving on and moving up. That's the most important thing.
No, that's a fact. Bliss, bro, we've been talking for about an hour here.
And about an hour off as well.
Dude, I'm gonna add your social media right here. Just tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, man. You can find me on Instagram at DJ Bliss Dubai, and then on YouTube, and I'm doing some TikTok stuff as well. If you guys are into TikTok, it's at DJ Bliss on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter. Yeah, all my stuff's on djbliss.com, so the social media is all there. But thank you, man. I want to say it was great chatting with you. I feel like we can do easily like 4 or 5 hours. You know,
Easy.
we didn't even touch on all the Dubai stories. You know, on all the trips that you've been on, and we didn't even talk about the New York trip that we had, and we had those amazing burgers. Like, there's so much more. We might have to do a part 2 at least.
No. We're definitely doing a part 2. See. Here's the thing, right? And it kind of goes to what we just talked about trying and failing, right? I started doing this podcast because years ago I always told myself I want to host a show. Never got around to it. Just focused on DJing, and then what happens? DJing gets shut down. So now what? What you gonna do? Let's start the podcast and have conversations with my friends who are genuinely good people and have interesting stories. So everybody I'm speaking to this first season is that these are my friends, and I think that, you know, people can just learn from our stories. So there will be a part 2 to this.
For sure, we have so many more stories, man. There's so many more for sure.
Dude, I appreciate you. Love to the family, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend DJ Bliss of Dubai. He is the man out there. If you ever get a chance to go out there when they open back up, go to a party that he's at, because he'll be rocking the place. All right?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. This is Wave Files with Reg West. We'll see you next time.